If you're looking for new ways to help with your lifting gains, then this video is right up your alley. What do you think about enhancing your training by simply rinsing your mouth? Well, a new study might propose just that. Let's talk about it. If you never heard of the concept of carbohydrate mouth rinsing, then congratulations, you are completely normal. But if you're a bit deeper into the world of exercise science, then the concept of rinsing your mouth full of sugar water isn't entirely new. And yes, outside of cavities, it does seem to do something, at least according to a new study. In this study, our friendly science nerds wanted to see if rinsing your mouth with carbs can improve lifting performance, specifically on the Romanian deadlift. Using a bunch of college-age bros with some lifting experience, the researchers implemented 2 identical 5-set 6-rep RDL sessions using a relatively heavy weight. The only difference is that immediately before each session, the participants were instructed to rinse their mouths for 20 seconds with a solution given at random, containing either just plain mineral water or a 6% mixture of maltodextrin, which is an odorless and mostly tasteless carbohydrate. Now, before we get to the results, I want to give a shout out to the wonderful folks at Examine. Whenever I'm feeling too lazy to look through the newest research myself, which is 99.100% of the time, I can always count on Examine's awesome research feed to have my back. With amazingly written summaries on essentially all the latest health and fitness research, Examine is a wonderful resource for all you fitness nerds, and I definitely recommend checking out Examine if you haven't already. Now for the results. Again, yes, rinsing with carbs does seem to do something, and that something is positive. In terms of peak power, average power output, and total work, carbohydrate mouth rinsing on average led to statistically significantly higher outcomes, all sitting between an 11 to 13% performance boost. And interestingly, based on rates of perceived exertion and heart rate, levels of fatigue were the same between the 2 sessions. In other words, carbohydrate mouth rinsing provided a noticeable performance boost and did so without making the subjects more exhausted. Now, my initial thought when I saw the results was, okay, there's gotta be an explanation for this, which I thought would be that they must have been fasting or were glycogen depleted, so the body had a strong reaction to the presence of carbs even if it hasn't been ingested. But that thought was quickly shut down when I read that the subjects ate a fairly carb-heavy meal about 3 hours before each session, which essentially rules out fasting and glycogen levels being issues. So then, how exactly does this work? Right now, it's mostly hypothetical, but the researchers do believe that rinsing your mouth with carbs can put multiple neurological pathways at play. Pathways that can lead to activating areas of the brain related to things like motor control, fatigue, pleasure, reward, and even motivation. And all of this can ultimately elicit greater exercise performance. Now, I think there's one limitation of this study worth pointing out, and that's the fluid solutions themselves. Although maltodextrin is relatively tasteless, it can still be somewhat distinguished from plain water. In this study specifically, 65% of the participants were able to correctly guess the carbohydrate solution. Now, randomization is very important in research like this, so if the subjects can identify the intervention they're given, it can weaken our confidence in the results. However, in fairness, only 45% were able to correctly guess the placebo, so we cannot fully rule out plain old luck. And another thing going on for this study is that it does seem to be consistent with a lot of the research conducted before it. I'd still like to see more research covering a few other things, like if there is any sort of tolerance effect with long-term use, or if we see the same benefits across an entire training session versus just a single exercise. But overall, as unconventional of a concept it might be, if you are in the market for new lifting strategies, then you might want to consider gargling a bit of sugar and water. But please, there's already enough questionable sticky substances on the gym floor, so find a proper place to spit your sugary juices out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a sticky thumbs up and share it with your sugar-loving friends. Subscribe for more and let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to get your protein. And not just rinse your protein, eat it.